The shape of your consciousness determines how you perceive the world. It determines how you see the world. As a result of that, beautiful beings, this is why the Buddha said suffering is inevitable and everything is an illusion. Suffering is inevitable because everything is illusion. Because what we see, how we see, what we perceive is a manifestation of all of the programming we've received since childhood. Nobody tells us that because the programming that we receive, comes through various avenues, for example, like through upbringing, we were raised on a whole bunch of BS, limiting beliefs, right? Culturally, and these, teachings were passed down to us, many of us culturally, right? A lot of teachings were passed down to us, like the whole disillusionment and misunderstanding and misinterpretation of the Christ and who the Christ or what the Christ is and so forth. That was all delivered to us through churches, right? And so majority of us spent majority of our lifetime looking for God outside of ourselves, looking for Christ, this man, to appear one day, and many people are still looking. And nobody taught us that, for example, the Christ is a state of consciousness that is accessible within every single human being on the planet, right? So many disillusionment, we were taught, through schools, we were actually trained through schools how to become a part of the slavery system, for example, right? I call it the modern day slavery system because it trains us to become like somebody else, pick a label. Who do you want to become? Be proud. And then you're going to work for the company that those orchestrating this in the background created, right? And so you become an employee, receiving, salary at a certain level, not enough to make you rich or any of that, right? Because if you want to do that, you got to take credit. And there's so much bullshit out there that we were thought, okay, that we were heavily trained into becoming, into being, that we've literally become lost in the weeds, okay? In the weeds of misinformation, misunderstanding as a result of misunderstanding, because even those teaching the misinformation or delivering the misinformation, beautiful beings, is they're lacking in understanding, and the reason being is because I usually joke, say this as a joke in my workshops, or to my clients, like, it's not like everybody, all of the billionaires, the elites, or everybody sitting there meditating every day or trying to, wanting to be the Buddha, right? It's not like everybody's sitting there going, and so as a result of that, waking up their unconscious minds, so waking up their consciousness, nurturing that divinity, that divine intelligence. Majority of people have gone through lifetimes upon lifetimes and not even becoming aware of the existence of this energy, this field of energy that's available to us. The field of energy, the Christ, the Buddha, the Tara, the Muhammad, really any evolved being whose states of consciousness is accessible to you based on your journey in relation to how you're moving through your inner work journey, beautiful beings, from your head to your heart, is accessible to you. Those are the deities that will show up for you during your evolutionary growth based on the karmic imprint that you're moving, right? And so the reason why everything is an illusion is because we're simply seeing through the veils of our own conditioning, of the programming that we received, right? And the first step on the Eightfold Path said, it's to develop the right mind, right? And the reason why the Buddha talks about developing the right mind, it's because Essentially, the illusion is the wrong mind. It misunderstands everything that's happening. What it thinks is happening versus what's actually happening, completely different. So completely disillusioned, because it operates on the surface, right? The surface that actually encourages us, or that actually triggers us in such a way that we're flowing from that survival mindset, and so we're solving what we see as problems and thinking we're solving problems here. Now I'm getting into the disillusionment, okay? We're doing what we're thinking we're solving problems, but what we're essentially doing, beautiful beings, is we're delivering our minimal understanding of what we think is going on based on this creation of the story that the egoic state of mind and the pain body weaves together. And believe me, they work masterfully together, okay? They will weave and birth the perfect story, because that's what it's accustomed to. That's where you feel safe, right? This is how it's kept you safe, in your little box, in your little box of understanding and feeling that like good, because you're surviving, you figure it out, you're doing what you're supposed to do. And majority remains stuck there, and then they just keep taking rebirth into the hell realms, and basically into the 6 realms, right? Over and over again. What the egoic state of mind doesn't show us, and this is where developing the right mind comes in, is through daily meditation practice, through self-examination, okay? From self-examination arises self-realization, beautiful being. And from self-realization, so when we examine why we're feeling triggered, as opposed to feeling triggered and then attacking the person outside of us that we think caused the trigger, the disillusionment again, right? So, we're supposed to, when we feel triggered, beautiful beings, we're supposed to pause, take a breath, go within, become present with that trigger, whether it's anger, sadness, whatever it is that you're feeling. Allow yourself to feel it. And as you feel it, you self-examine it. Where in the body is it showing up? What is it here to teach me? Because beautiful beings, what it's here to teach you, it's not here to teach you you're supposed to defend yourself by attacking somebody else. It's here to teach you that you are carrying this energy of anger within you. As within, so without. You are the one that's manifesting the circumstances outside of yourself unconsciously, and when you become triggered, it's simply here to show you, hey, here is an opportunity to self-examine, an opportunity to give yourself attention, give this emotion attention, an opportunity to heal, to embrace it, and to evolve from it. Evolving from it, beautiful beings, means extracting that beautiful wisdom of transformation, because when you do self-examination and you move through this process with meditative awareness, you transform, right? So that wisdom of transformation comes through, and that beautiful wisdom, beautiful beings, is your gift to the world. You don't just write it down in a book. Of course, when you extract that wisdom, you start to apply it. Okay? Now, my personal practice is if I have to erase everything in my life, drop everything in my life, I do immediately. I call it embodiment. This is the embodiment practice. Okay? So I change whatever it is in my life that I need to change in order to embody this new wisdom. Because if my life is out of alignment, then what's the point of doing inner work, right? What's the point of coming into that wisdom if I'm not going to apply it and show up as it? That is how we show up from the Buddha mind, the Siddhi mind. That is the heart of our practice. I love you. Om Mani Padme Hum.